feel like that's what knitters are. Like that's what we are, you guys. We are like the secret society of badass quiet girls. Hello and welcome to another episode of Yarn to Table. I'm Celeste and this is a show about my knitting life. If this is your first time watching, I really hope you see something that you like. You can hit the subscribe button down below to join me usually every other Monday. It has actually been 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks, so bear with me if I am a little bit scattered today. But welcome back. It's good to be here with you guys. I'm excited to talk about what's going on in my knitting. We have a KAL running all year. If you don't know about it, it is the Fiber Quest KAL. In the doobly-doo, you can watch a video about the KAL generally and talking you through the first couple lands of fiber that we are exploring with that knit along. There's also a link to the Ravelry group, which is where you can play along in that KAL. There's chatter and finished objects thread, all of the rules written down there for your reference and that kind of fun stuff. And you can find me on Ravelry and on Instagram as Celeste Full if you want to check out what's going on with my projects, get more information about them, that kind of thing. You can also find show notes for every episode in the Ravelry group if you want to know the name of a colorway that you saw or pattern or designer or what have you. And always feel free to ask me any questions that you can't easily find the answers to. So as I said, the Fiber Quest KAL is going on. We are currently in the land of goats, and that is running through the end of April. Yes. So if you want to knit something with mohair or cashmere or another goat fiber, be sure to check that out. And I would love to see you over there. So far, it's just been a really, really fun experience. We did Land of Camelids first. That was really awesome. And Goats is shaping up to be really interesting as well. So thank you to everybody that is participating in that, letting other people know about it. It's really awesome. Make sure you share your progress on Instagram if you're on there with hashtag FiberQuestKal, so that people can discover it that way. And just thank you so much for participating, being enthusiastic about it, and just sharing your really, really awesome projects that you're making. It's been a real joy so far, and we are still at the beginning, so I think it's just going to be an incredible year of exploring different types of fiber together, which is what it's all about. Today I am wearing my brioche bandana cowl, which I finished earlier this winter. It is a pattern by Lavana Parascella, I believe. And I made it out of a Harry Potter Club colorway from a Homespun House, which is this variegated. And then the lovely sort of mauvey lavender is Lilac Bush, which was dyed by Andy of 10,000 Stitches podcast for me. And I adore this. I wore it a ton right after I finished it, which was like a month or two ago, and I've been wearing it a lot this week as well. I'll just pull it out, and then the more I wear it, the more I want to wear it. So yeah, it's just a lovely thing to throw on and a really, really fun project to make. I definitely think I'll make more of them in the future. And let's see, so I do not have a finished object for you, but I do have a few whips and a lot of stash enhancement to share. And then for the chit chat segment, I'm actually going to cut this off and go do a separate video that I'm going to record right after this. That is the Fiber Friends tag, and I'm going to be doing that with Ryan. So basically it's a series of questions about knitting that I'm going to be asking him, and it should be a lot of fun. So make sure to check that out if you're curious. So let's see, my first whip that I want to share with you is the Ebba. which is this lovely colorwork sweater that I've been working on, and it's been quite an ordeal, as anyone knows who's been watching for a while. It gets put aside and then I work on it and then it gets put aside. I cast this on, gosh, I don't remember when I cast it on exactly, but I feel like I started knitting on it in earnest in December. And the last time you saw it, it had one completed sleeve and nothing on this side. Well, that was 3 weeks ago. I let it sit for almost 3 weeks after that. And then a few days ago, I picked up for the second sleeve. And I've actually knit this entire thing. I just need to bind off, which I haven't done yet because I'm doing a tubular bind off, which is a sewn bind off, and I just need to look up the instructions again to remind myself. So when I got to the end here, it was late at night and I really just wanted to go to sleep, and that was a couple days ago. So I just need to do that. But yeah, now all that's done, all that's left to do is picking up and knitting this sort of stand collar that it has with this wide boat neck. And after that, I can weave in the ends and block, and it'll finally be done. So I think it's probably safe to say this is going to be something I can wear next episode, barring some kind of strange mental crisis of faith. But, you know, I did let this languish. I mean, I easily could have worn it on this episode, but I kind of, after I did this sleeve, I let it sit around again for a while because, you know, I had to pick up and I had to do all this color work again. And I've just been so mentally overworked, I guess, lately. School and work has just been a lot. And so, yeah, but I was feeling it a few days ago, and I picked up and I sorted through all the color work in one sitting. I actually knit for like, I got to here, and I knit for like 6 hours. It was pretty intense, which a lot of people could do more than that in 6 hours, but as I said before, I am not really great at color work yet, so I'm working on building up my speed there. But yeah, so then I picked up the next day and I finished the sleeve, and it's almost there. It is almost there. These sleeves, for anyone that has not been watching for a while, were steeks. That was my first time steeking, and I did it on Instagram, which you can still see as a featured story. The actual cutting, unfortunately, was live, so that's not a part of it, but I talk through the process before and after, and I think it's kind of interesting still anyway, even though you're missing the actual cutting part. In retrospect, I probably should have done at least some cutting as a story so that that could have been saved, but live just seemed like a good idea, and then I could get all the way through it anyway. It doesn't matter. This is not an Instagram show, although I do talk about Instagram a lot because I really like Instagram. So that's the Ebba. I'm really excited to have her done. Obviously winter is like basically over, although, so the first day of spring was earlier this week, and we have had a lot of snow since then. It's been like the snowiest month of the year. It's really funny, but we just had a ton of snow yesterday, and we had a bunch earlier in the week, and we had a bunch last week. It's just really funny. But so by the time I do finish this, I would not be surprised if winter just wrapped up and I didn't really have a chance to wear it. That would be good luck, right? However, I'm going to Wales in May, and it is 60 degrees in Wales in May, so I feel like I can pretty much wear any sweater I want there. So that's keeping me from kind of being too disappointed by the fact that I'm finishing a sweater at the end of winter, and also starting a couple other sweaters, which we will get to in a second. So yeah, so that's the Ebba. If you want to know more detail on the color work and the steeking and all of that, I do have a lot of past episodes where I talk about it in more detail. And you can always find which episodes of the podcast I talk about different projects in more detail by going to the blogs tab on the projects page on my Ravelry. It'll have links to all the relevant episodes. So if you wanted to see everything about the EBBA, for example, you could go to the EBBA project page, go to the blogs tab, and then it'll have links to every episode where I share progress on the EBBA. So let's see here. I guess before I move on to the next WIP, I do want to say one more thing about just to sort of follow up on the color work and the two-handed color work, and something I mentioned last episode about my kind of non-traditional knitting and how I sort of like throw with my left hand and I just don't do anything normal. But I've been wanting to learn how to pick properly, how to properly continental, and I need to learn how to like tension the yarn and everything, because right now I like don't even really tension it. It's just, I'm just completely broke. And I got this Craftsy course a while ago about continental. It's called like Knitting Faster with the Continental Method or something. And I actually did make some time to watch the first couple lessons of it. I have not made time to do the homework and actually work on it. But it is something that I really want to do, and you know, I struggle with like any time that I'm dedicating to working on that is time that I'm not going to be working on my actual projects, because I actually really just want to work on it on a swatch so that it's low pressure and I can like have bad tension as much as I need to and just sort of like develop that muscle memory, rather than doing it in the middle of a sweater. Although I won't lie, I've played around and done a little bit of it in the middle of a sweater, and it did result in some not great gauge situations, although they're just little stitches here and there, so it's not that big a deal. But anyway, I want to take more time to do that, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I mean, it's going to happen eventually, but like I got some steam and I watched the Craftsy episodes, and then I just wanted to work on my projects in the little bit of time that I actually had to knit instead of working on a swatch and practicing continental. So I think what's gonna work for me probably is if I like block out some time at some point, hopefully later in the year, and I just say like, okay, this week is about practicing continental, or this 2-week period or whatever, and I kind of set everything else aside. That kind of stuff usually works for me, rather than trying to find more stolen time to practice it when I'm already stealing time just to knit at all, or to get homework done, or to, you know, just like do the basics, because my life's just a little bit too full at the moment. So yeah, that's developing, I guess, so I wanted to share that with you guys. Moving on, the next WIP, so I still have my time traveler socks going on. I've just, you know, knit on them here and there when I'm on the go. It's not anything to write home about, and I feel like I've just been sharing them over and over again with nothing exciting to say. So I'm going to, you know, probably not share them again until I actually get to the toe and I'm doing anything interesting. So just so you know, that's happening, but I'm not going to share them again today. But I do have 2 more sweaters to share today. So the first is this lovely Kiryami, which is a pattern by Gudrun Johnston. And this is in the most recent Brooklyn Tweed collection. This is done out of their Arbor, which is their beautiful DK weight. And the colorway is Vintner, which is a really lovely dark red. And when I talked about this last, I was struggling with the cast on, and I decided to just go ahead and do the cast on from the pattern instead of trying to make a tubular work on this project, which, if you're curious why, I talk about it extensively last episode. So I did that, and in the last 3 weeks I have made this much in the way of progress. So I'm almost through the waist shaping. There were some decreases. This was my last increase, and then I'm almost ready to increase once more. Once I do that, there's going to be a bit more knitting to get to the underarm, and then I'm going to be switching over and knitting the sleeves from the cuff up. And then when I finish those, I'm going to be joining everything together and continuing up for the yoke of the sweater. So the yoke is where it gets really interesting because it is this lovely texture. So right now it's just a really nice mindless knit, and then it's just going to have a bit of texture that I don't think it's going to be particularly challenging or anything, but just something to add a bit of interest. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm very much looking forward to wearing this. I think it's going to be so stunning. I love this yarn. And this is the project where I have a few stitches here and there where the tension is just a little weird. Let's see if I can find an example. Because I was just throwing in a little bit of practice on Continental, and here we go. And I shouldn't do that. I should wait and use a swatch. So here, hope you can see this. No, I feel like I just lost it. Where is it? Right here. See how these stitches right here are uneven? Like this one's just a little big. And on the back you can see it as well. There's just a little bit too much. That stitch is just a little bit too big. So I'm just going to go in there with a little crochet hook or a darning needle and just kind of tug on the stitches next to it and even it out, and then it'll block. It'll be fine. But yeah, I don't want to just knit on this whole thing practicing Continental and have a bunch of stuff like that all over the project. I think especially when I'm first starting out with it, I should really use a swatch. So anyway, this is lovely. I am nearing the end. Well, I guess I'm like halfway through my third of I think 10 skeins. So pretty good progress, I would say. And yeah, this has just been very much the kind of thing that I've been wanting to knit on right now, which is nice. I've actually had a mixture of days when I really want to challenge myself and I've been really into color work, and days when I really want something vanilla, and so it's been really nice to have a combination. So now that I'm past the color work on the Ebba, the only color work I have is on the project I'm about to show you, which I only knit on when I'm recording Return to Stars Hollow. I actually put on this hoodie because I'm getting a little chilly. So at the moment, I don't have a complicated thing going, except that I do have a kind of hibernating, languishing whip, which is a mosaic knit, which is my Lauralee shawl. So I'm gonna be pulling that out soon as my more complicated thing to work on. But let me just show you what I was mentioning. So first of all, if you don't know, I co-host an auditory podcast called Return to Stars Hollow, and we record it every week. We've been doing it for 3.5 years. We have about another year to go. Is that right? Been doing it for almost 4 years, and we have, yeah, like maybe 9 months to go. We're planning on finishing it by the end of this calendar year. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great time to knit. But it is one of those things where it's been going on for so long that some weeks you're sort of don't want to do it, you know, or you're just kind of tired or whatever. And so I discovered last year that having a really special Gilmore Girls themed project that I only worked on while I was recording was a really nice treat, and it would make me look forward to recording a little bit more. And so I've started a new one, and it is so lovely that I really want to work on it when I'm not recording, and it absolutely makes me look forward to our recording sessions every week. So it's exactly doing its job. And I've even put it in this new bag that I just acquired, which is like so beautiful. And so just using the bag, and it matches the yarn and everything, it just, the whole thing is so, it's just such a little treat. So here's the bag. This is from Peapod Threads on Etsy. And I have these little enamel pins that I just put on it that I got on Amazon actually. I love this one. So first of all, it like goes so well with the eye and the triangle with this pattern, but this one says, "The Secret Society of Badass Quiet Girls." And I just love that because I feel like that's what knitters are. Like that's what we are, you guys. We are like the secret society of badass quiet girls. No one knows what awesome things we are making because we're all introverts and we're just staying home making magic with our knitting needles. So I love that. Anyway, so everything's all coordinated, which I love. The bag is so cute. It has this cute little Peapod zipper pull because it's Peapod threads. I love that. And then the lining is nice and matchy-matchy. If you don't know yet, I love pink, so get ready because the project is also pink. This is The Sunset Highway by Caitlin Hunter, and I have now knitted on this, I believe, 3 different recording sessions, so that's about 6 hours of work. And here you can see this is the short row shaping for the back of the neck, so it sits down a little bit lower. See that? And this is the front of the neck. And I've just started with my first contrast color. I have my second contrast color in here, which is a new stash enhancement. This is Sparkle Sock from Stress Knits in the I Smell Snow colorway, which I was able to track down by buying it from someone's stash, which I talked about earlier. So very, very excited about that. I actually got this from Michelle, who is Naughty Knitwit. So thank you so much, Michelle, for selling me this. Very excited to have it for the Sunset Highway. And I think it looks quite nice with the other colors. There's enough of a contrast, but there's a real color story there. And then the body of this sweater is actually going to be a mint green with some kind of magenta-y speckles on it, which is from Woolberry Fiber Co. So these are all Gilmore Girls themed yarns. This one is Woolberry Fiber Co. It's Magical, which was a club. And the green is going to be Bjork Snow Girl, which is also a club from her. And then the darker pink is the Pop-Tart Dilemma from A Homespun House, which was a club colorway. And this, I actually knit my Pop-Tarts and Coffee socks out of, which was my first Return to Stars Hollow only project. But I had enough left to put it in this sweater as well, so that's really exciting. And then I Smell Snow, as I said, which is a regular colorway. All the others are like one-of-a-kinds. And I have my little donut progress keeper on there because that makes me think of Gilmore Girls. Yeah, and let's see. So this is some more color work, which I've been enjoying, even though I feel like it's so awkward on my hands, and I think that's a big reason that I have been motivated to want to kind of learn to continental properly, because I feel like if I do that, I can more easily do either way, whether it's two-handed or not, I can more easily do color work than what I do now, which is just kind of awkward. So, but I've been quite enjoying it. I have popped it on over my head to kind of see if it feels like it's fitting well, and it looks good. The tension has been a little difficult. I only recently was able to get out of Magic Loop because it was just such a small circumference. And I don't love knitting magic loop for color work for whatever reason. No, I generally love magic loop, but also I don't love magic loop on a larger project like this. I really like it for socks, but even for sleeves, I feel like unless they're really narrow sleeves, like you'll notice, I didn't even mention this when I showed you the EBA, but I have the sleeve on double points, right? And that's because how wide it is up here, that's not comfortable for me to do magic loop. So I just did it on double points. And I actually bought, I think I talked about this on the podcast, I bought a bunch of these really cheap wooden double points just so that I would have them in every size for convenience. I bought those on Amazon for like no money at all, and they've been working out great. Like each needle has like a little curve to it sometimes. Like they are not nice needles, they're really crap. But I knit on double points so rarely, and it's like, it's still more comfortable to use that than to try to futz with magic loop with like a large circumference. So I don't mind. You know, eventually it would be nice to invest in a set of nicer magic loop or nicer double points, but for the time being, it's nice to just know that I have them in every size and I don't have to constantly check that and buy new ones for different projects and, you know, just be disorganized in that way. I really like just having the whole set. So anyway, I was talking about this. I just got out of magic loop and I feel like, see the floats there, the tension is a little bit like puckery, I guess, but I think it's gonna be fine when I block it, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, this has just been really, really enjoyable. The yarns are just so beautiful. There's enough interest going on that I'm like not getting bored, but it's basic enough that I can do it while I'm recording. And yeah, it's just been really, really enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to working on it some more. So, and just look how beautiful all these pink yarns look in this bag. I love when things match. It's just so cute. So that is my last whip. For on the horizon, I just want to mention that I want to get started soon when I finish the EBA on another sweater. I want to do the, what was I gonna say? The Alyeska by Caitlin Hunter. I'm not sure when I'm gonna cast that on though. I have the yarn, which I'm gonna show you in Stash Enhancement. But because it's an all over color work and it's so, I don't know, I might start it soon. I might wait until I feel more comfortable with having practiced like proper continental a little more. I'm not really sure when I'm going to start on that, but I know that right away I want to start on another Caitlin Hunter pattern, which is the Tenya, which I will be doing out of some Wool and Vine Footsie in Dirty on Purpose that I bought for that project. It's going to be a really nice summer garment, and as we're going into spring, you know, of course I love all of these sweaters and I am going to wear them in Wales and I am going to wear them next year, but I also would really like to have some things that I can wear right away here at home. So I definitely want to get that Tenya going, and then I'm going to start working on some more summer garments pretty soon. The next land in the Fiber Quest KAL, which will be for May, June, is going to be plant fibers, so that really lends itself well to lovely summer garments, cotton and linen and the like. Yeah, so that's kind of the stuff that's coming up. And for Stash Enhancement, I have some things to show you. So I already shared the I Smell Snow that I bought, and I shared this lovely new bag. When I got this bag, however, I got another bag from Peapod Threads at the same time, and this is a larger bag. So I was noticing with all these sweaters I don't really have a lot in the way of sweater size bags, and I wanted another one if I found one that, you know, made me really, really happy, and I did. This is from Peapod Threads as well, and it has these little goats on it, and pine trees, and little cardinals. And I just, first of all, it's so cute. And I love that it's neutral colors. And pine trees and cardinals are both symbols for me and my husband. And then the goats, of course, made me think of the land of goats, which we're in right now for the Fiber Quest KAL. And I just love goats. Yeah, so it's a little bit bigger. You can see this is like her medium bag, and this is her large. So it's not a huge difference, but I think you can really comfortably fit like a, definitely like a 4, but probably even like a 6 or more skein project pretty comfortably in there. And then the way that I tend to stuff things once I'm toward the end of a sweater, I think you can get a whole sweater in there as long as it's not like a ginormous, you know, big blanket sweater. So excited to start using this. And let's see. Okay, so then the next thing to show you is the yarn, and I mentioned I ordered yarn for the Alyeska. Sorry, there's gonna be crumpling. Let me just cut it out. Be right back. Okay, so the Alyeska was designed as a collaboration with Ritual Dyes that did a kit that's like kind of a fade inspired by the mountains touching the sky and then this little bit of orange sun. And I just loved the colors in the sample so much that I wanted exactly those colors. So I looked to see if I could still get a kit, and they did have them, but they had the crone only. So crone is the base. That is a fingering single ply of Superwash wash merino wool. And in the sample, the orange part is done in a different base, which is actually mohair. So I got the crone only because that was what was available. But then here's the orange from Ritual Dyes. I went ahead and I grabbed some mohair that I could hold double with it, so that that part can still be fuzzy. And I also really love this. This is the colorway Rust, and this is the Shibui Silk Cloud, which is a, I think it's a 70-30 mohair and silk, something like that. Anyway, I really like that it kind of helps tone down the color and make it a little more natural as well, the orange. Because I'm not, I mean, like very, very bright orange. I love the way it looks in the Alyeska, but I think just a little more rust I like even more. And then the rest of the body is this sort of fade that she creates. Mountains give, let's see, way, and then to the, and then it's sun, which is the orange. And so these are all on the crone base. There's also a couple more skeins of the Tuda to bulk out that portion of the sweater. And yeah, so I'm just absolutely in love with these colors. I mean, you can see they just have these lovely speckles, beautiful, subtle neutrals. And then even the orange has like this nice speckling in it, which I really love. And I think it's gonna look just gorgeous with the rust over it. So this is like definitely a big purchase, and I'm going to have, the way these kits work, like I'm going to have leftovers from a lot of this. So I think there's gonna need to be either some mini skein swapping or some serious shawl knitting in my future. Or, you know, honestly, a lot of them will make really great for baby knits as well, where you don't need a whole skein. But I'm gonna have leftovers from both of these, so I'll have to come up with something fun to do with them together as well. Or I may just bundle it all up and like sell it on eBay if I don't have ideas, or bundle up some of it that's not, I don't know. But this is the way I work. I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna do with my leftovers because I love to be kind of as economical as I can in that way. But I just had to have this set. I would have had to have bought new yarn for the sweater anyway because I don't have enough stash to be able to like knit from stash on a project that needs so many colors and feel like I used all the colors that I wanted. Like for the Sunset Highway, it takes 4 colors and 3 of them were from stash. But I really had my heart set on the Ice Melt Snow and I had to go after it, you know. But for this, I just really, really wanted exactly what it was. So ideally, if I had chosen, I would not have done it on a single ply. But that was what the pattern did. So I think I just have to recognize that it's going to be a bit of a more delicate, special garment. And I'll have to, you know, go easy on it a little bit. But yeah, I think it's going to be really, really, really beautiful. So excited about that. The last little bit of stash enhancement is something I threw into my cart from Ritual Dyes when I got the yarn. And that is this little quartz Shaw pen. I do not have a Shaw pen. And lately I've been thinking if there were one that I found really, really pretty, it might be a good thing to have, because I do have some shawls that I like to try to wear more wrapped around my shoulders sometimes, but they don't always hold there exactly. And I just absolutely love quartz. So this is exactly, you know, I wanted it to be something minimal and something that really added to the look, and I didn't feel like it clashed or detracted in any way. And then lately, the last couple days, I've also been wearing it in my hair because I just think it's fun. So yeah, that's that. And now for the chit chat segment, as I said, and we're gonna move on and have the Fiber Friends tag with Ryan. So that's gonna be in a separate video, and I hope you check that out and enjoy it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.